Mira's my favorite. She's the visual and lead dancer of Huntrix. Nobody can move like Mira.
Apparently, she was a black sheep of her family.
I don't know why, because she's so cool. Who else could wear a sleeping bag to the Met Gala?
Yeah, she's our role model.
She's the best.
There's definitely a certain personality type that goes with Mira, that black sheep, the one that no one accepts, that goes against the grain. That comes with a lot of cost, though. When you are always the one breaking the rules, often that feeling of not being accepted, that you are the one that is different than everyone else, can make you less trusting of the world around you, because often you feel like if people really knew who you were, they would avoid you, or they would be scared of you, or they would push you away. Just like it seems that Mira has in her family, that she was this black sheep, but now that she can make her money from this, she's accepted. But that just makes you more untrusting of the world around you. And also, often in families, people use the person that is the most different as the scapegoat, the person that carries all of the problems, issues. You become that easy person to blame whenever a situation goes awry. So because of that, you can often be more defensive and on the lookout for people blaming you, which can cause a lot of issues and hurt, and makes you less trusting of people around you. Are you the black sheep, the counterculture person, the person that is different and don't feel like you really fit in any situation or scenario? Well, if so, Mira may be the person that you are most aligned with. Or perhaps Mira is the person that you wished you could be, the person that doesn't really need anyone. Well, perhaps that just looks like that way on the outside. So let's get into a little bit of the psychology of Mira from K-pop Demon Hunters.
She's our role model.
She's the best. Love her.
We're here for Zoe! She's a rapper and lyricist.
She grew up in America.
It's interesting also because a lot of people that are more like Zoe, this warm, cushy feeling, often are more attracted to people like Mira that have that tough outer coating, the person that doesn't care, because you care so much. So often we find alignment with people. We like to be around people that have traits that we wished we had.
What are you doing?
Nothing. Just, did you want to come in?
I mean, yeah, if you want me to come in, I can come in.
Well, two of the pieces. One is that low affect, that not showing any emotions. That's often a mask that people use to hide how they actually feel. For a lot of people, their emotions were used against them, or perhaps when they were growing up, they were very emotional, and so because of that, they're cutting all of that out. There is definitely a lot of people that don't want anyone else to know how they really think because they feel like that could be a weakness or that could be used against them in a later state. And so they hide behind that mask. So that low, grumpy affect that Mira shows can often be hiding all of the actual emotions that she shows underneath it. And often with this personality type, a lot of people may actually believe that she has no emotions, that she's tough, that nothing ever bothers her. But because of that, sometimes she might carry more things, more difficulties than she should, because it's difficult to open up. And other people around her may just think that everything's always okay, even though it's not. Because if things really were okay, you wouldn't have to hide your emotions and you wouldn't need that mask. I also love that for Mira, she's like, oh, if you want me to come in, then I'll come in. Like, she can't just say, yes, I would like to come in. She has to put it onto the other person, and then she just walks in without waiting for the answer. For a lot of people, they assume things because it's easier to assume it and then take than have someone say no, and then you might feel hurt. Also, I think that for Mia, she just wants what she wants. She's used to getting what she wants, and so she just takes that. Instead of the opposite personality type, overly caretaking with, are you sure? If you don't want me to, maybe I won't. Maybe I should come back later. But she just goes and goes exactly for it. But it's also kind of interesting, the juxtaposition of her wearing this like cute little fuzzy sweater with like a bear on it, yet outside her outside demeanor shows off she's just gruff and not feeling. And so I like that juxtaposition, that what she's wearing on the outside is probably the mushiness that is also in her inside.
I heard you singing. You sound good.
Yeah, who would have thought? Those tonics actually work.
And it also shows how much she really does care for Rumi, that she's trying to be encouraging, and she wants to find out what's actually happening with her without trying to pry, because she herself would probably hate for someone to pry into her business, especially if she's not comfortable yet. This is her way of checking up on Rumi to make sure, and hopefully to get some information, because that unknown can cause people a lot of anxiety. Not knowing what it is, you can often make up reasons, or some people might think that it's because of them without knowing it.
So why are you changing our lyrics?
Oh, do you really think this is the right song to be Quima? It's so hateful.
Yeah, because we hate him and we hate demons.
And that's probably not the best way for Rumi to go about changing things, especially for someone with Mira that has trust issues already, that feels like an outsider. To do something without at least discussing it would probably make her feel even more outside and more upset. You want, especially with this personality type, to be as forthright and as honest with someone so that they can garner trust and feel safe. I know that for Rumi, she has a different childhood, and so because of that, she probably doesn't even understand that this could upset Mira, especially if this would happen over and over again. Sometimes you have to think about, is this really going to bother me in the future? If so, if it's really going to bother you and become a problem, especially for a group, you want to be able to share it. Your job is to teach people, to tell people how to treat you. And so for Mira, right now, I'd be like, I understand that you want to change it, but maybe we should discuss before we change lyrics, or just maybe this is a proposal, which would be completely fine. You want to let people know, because for a lot of people, they believe that the way that they would like to be treated is the way that other people want to be treated. And that is not always the case. But people aren't psychic, even though we might wish sometimes they were. We really wouldn't want them to be psychic, but sometimes we wish that they were, or assume it.
What is up with you? I could swear the other day you were talking to a demon. And Wu Jinu, what was that about?
I was playing him up to psych him out. Get in his head.
Look, I'm pretty good at reading people. Actually, I'm kind of an expert at it, and I just can't shake this feeling that you're keeping something from me.
And she is. The thing is that everyone has a right to their own feelings and beliefs, but when you're part of a team, there are certain things, especially if it's going to affect the team, you would want to let them know, especially if it doesn't involve them. A lot of times what we do is we almost automatically assume that when something is off, it's about us, that we've done something wrong, even if they haven't. So sometimes if you're sick or something's bothering you, it would be beneficial, not a right, but beneficial to let your team know so that they won't assume that they did something wrong or you don't like or are upset at them. Because if that's the case, then their anxiety can go down. And for Mira, I think that she really worries that this is going to break up the group or there's something that is serious wrong. Now, there actually is. But for Rumi, not only does she not think that she'll be accepted, there's a whole bunch of proof for Rumi that she may not be, especially with the words that Mira says about, of course, we hate them. We hate demons. And so I fully understand why Rumi is not comfortable in being able to share it.
Mira, I'm not keeping anything from you.
Sorry, I sound nuts. I guess these demons are just getting to me. Ugh, I can't wait until every one of them is destroyed and sent back to suffer with Kima for eternity. Right, Rumi?
Yeah.
And it's also interesting how quickly Mira trusts her and says, I'm so sorry, I'm sounding crazy. Like, it shows how tight-knit the group really is, especially for Rumi's personality type. You would expect that from Zoe much faster. She's already that warm, fuzzy, feeling, trusting person. But for Mira, that shows how deeply she really trusts Rumi and that she apologizes right away. She probably doesn't give the benefit of doubt to everyone else as quickly as she does to her.
The last few weeks have been hard, and I admit I haven't been at my best. But I know we can win tomorrow. We just have to sing the right song. And Takedown isn't...
It's okay, Rumi.
We agree.
It's not the song that's gonna connect all our fans.
It can't even connect us.
I love how quickly they're able to change. That emotional flexibility to be able to change a belief system, especially for Mira, to be able to alter, to change your beliefs, that shows a lot of strength. Mental flexibility, being able to change your opinion, especially when you believed something to something else, instead of having that cognitive dissonance, which is where you will hold on to a belief system even if you are given a whole bunch of different facts. But for Mira, she's able to alter that. A song that she really liked, that she wrote together, that she felt was part of her, she's able to let go of that in order to take steps forward. That adaptability shows a lot of resilience and actually is linked to being successful, not just career-wise or socially, but also financially. You need to be able to pivot when all of the signs show that you should pivot. And sometimes we hold on to a belief or a thought so strongly that this is the hill that we're gonna die on, and then you just die. So don't do that. Metaphorically, of course. And that's actually not normal for that personality type. That takes a lot of trust and belief. Trust in herself and in the group.
I know our faults and fears must never be seen, but...
That is a specific saying from Celine, and probably not even from Celine. That has probably been passed down through the generations, that all of the things that are your fears are your weaknesses, and you should never show it. That is something that is so common to many different cultures, that belief system that your fears are your weaknesses, and if you show them, they'll be used against you and make other people feel worse. That is definitely not psychologically true. Now, I'm not saying that that means that you should wear it as a badge and share it everywhere. There are specific cases, but if you don't know how you feel and you don't open it up to other people, it actually makes people feel excluded. We are all flaws and mistakes and just doing the best that we can. And hearing that other people are not that perfect either often gives us that allocation of feeling like we can breathe as well and feel more safer with them.
Look, I'm kind of a difficult person. Overly blunt, short-fused, highly aggressive. My whole life, those things were a liability. But somehow, with you guys, they're okay.
I love that she says all of the things that she is in such a cute way, but it's also that demeanor that she has, that these are the things that were a liability beforehand, but I would probably say that she needed those skills probably as a defense mechanism to survive her childhood, to be able to be who she is, to be able to test those limits. A lot of times, the things that are no longer adaptive when we get older were actually something we needed to survive, that kept us alive when we were young. We've learned certain rules of behavior in order to keep us alive, but then later they become a detriment in life because they keep people away or they keep us in old patterns that are no longer adaptive. So you really want to look at in an honest way who you are and if it actually serves you, not always keeps you safe. Sometimes the things that you need to do are actually risks or scary to do, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it. And for Mira, she can let go of this in this group because she feels safe and trusted and accepted for who she is, and also not forced to have to be like the other people in the group. Even though they even wear things that are similar, everyone looks a little different. They allow and accept each other's differences in their personalities to be able to shine through. I will take that other piece though, but yes, she is beautiful and talented and has a beautiful body, and I think that those stereotypes of you have to be perfect and you have to look stunning to be able to do this also are perpetuated through this. That is in many areas, not just in K-pop. It's in modeling and in advertising and in the media that's around us. And that definitely causes negative effects where we judge ourselves if we're not perfect because of that. And now with all of these different filters, that would be a different video for a different time.
Before I joined Huntrix, I felt like my thoughts and my lyrics and all my notebooks were just useless and weird. But with the two of you, they mean something. I mean something.
And that's also so true. Often the things that make us unique, that we are passionate about, become the thing that we could benefit from. The things that we were mocked because we're always writing or always reading or singing different songs or dressing weird can be the thing that becomes our career, that makes us special. I think that we need to be able to embrace the differences that we have in a much more open way. Just because something is different than what you understand doesn't mean that that should be what we mock and push away, even if society says that. Often our differences are our greatest strengths.
I'm afraid of losing you guys too. And that's why we have to finish this.
And I like that Rumi says, I'm afraid of losing you guys too. Neither person specifically said that. Often we can project our own fears that other people are saying the exact same thing that we are because we're so busy inside of our head. We're not always listening. But I think that for Rumi, it is true. Unconsciously, that is what each person is saying, that you mean so much to me and I don't want to lose you. I feel so safe that all of my differences are accepted and beloved in this group. And I think that because of Mira's strong words, because she is so blunt and so aggressive with her speech, that she's probably given Rumi that greater fear that that's what could happen. But sometimes we just speak strongly because that's how we speak. It isn't always that we've thought out. And that's what happens when you speak so bluntly. Sometimes you just say things without filtering through that perhaps I shouldn't always say it. So people that are more blunt often can hurt or step on other people's feelings with absolutely no clue that they're doing it.
All these fears, it's the demons talking. We will be free of these demons. free of these fears forever.
And that is really what the demons are. They're the negative self-talk, the fears that we have, the things that we paint ourselves with. They don't just go away. You need to be able to confront them and deal with them in an open way. That means that you should understand them. And yes, if you can look at the things that are your flaws, your triggers, your fears, your worries, they're less apt to be able to hurt you and control you. No matter how strong is your identity and self-esteem, everyone has fears. It's part of the beauty of who we are. You just don't want to have them control you anymore. And that is what can happen if you confront the fears that are around us. Because if not, that will become the script that you live your life by. And that will be the choices that you make. And no, you should never make a decision out of fear, even if it's the right decision. It's the wrong decision. If you hate ads more than demonic K-pop boy bands, or love my channel more than Mira loves the couch, then you should think about getting Nebula. Nebula is a platform where you can find all kinds of wonderful original content of its own. And that's the whole purpose of Nebula. Creators can post early, post extended versions, post videos that would never make it on YouTube, plus some amazing originals. And I got to take part in a few of them to knock some cool stuff off of my bucket list, like being part of The Getaway, which is a mix between Survivor and The Mole. It was for me an experience of a lifetime. I had so much fun. You have to take a look at it. I got to work with some of the nicest people on the planet. If you love jet lag or Survivor, this is a must-see, where a group of amazing content creators traveled for a week across the USA to try to win competitions and figure out which one of us was the snitch. Plus, can I just say, alpacas? Yes, there are alpacas. There's also the new original, Amy's Dream House, where I got to be the psychological consultant on the show to give suggestions and ideas for the psychology behind the characters. It is a whimsical mix of comedy and adorable characters where you get to go through Amy's life and her inner dialogue. If only my toaster could talk, probably I wouldn't like that. I wouldn't like what it would say. So Nebula isn't just a place where you can get all your favorite content and ad-free, sponsor-free, but by getting Nebula, you directly support over 200 content creators who use it, myself included. And you can sign up with my exclusive link below. You can get Nebula annually for 40% off, $36 a year. And by clicking that link, it really does help out my channel. That's all early access, all extended versions, all the courses, all the originals from Nebula creators, just by clicking the link below. Thank you for your support, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. So you can let me know your thoughts on Mira, if you have a little bit of Mira in you, or if Mira is the personality type that you are most attracted to. You can let me know in the comments below.